Hello, and welcome to our next day of learning of the laws of Lashon Hara. Last time we started a new topic where we said we are going to discuss what to do when there is a case that you are allowed to speak Lashon Hara, because there is an important matter that you have to let people know. So let's give an example of someone that owns a store is stealing from his customers. He's putting very high prices on his items, he's blindsiding them with it, and you want people to know not to shop in that store. That is not the right place to go. You're not going to have a good dealing with this man. So there are 7 conditions that have to be met before you are allowed to just go tell people, you cannot shop in that man's store. So we're going to go through those 7 conditions now. The first is that one must be absolutely certain that the information is accurate. Either one has had to have witnessed that the incident has happened, or he investigated it and he really investigated the matter and he really knows that this is true. Okay, so it can't just be your hunch or because you think so. It has to be something that you really know to be true. 2, you have to make sure that you think about the matter fully and you think it through. Sometimes when we think someone did something wrong, we really just don't know the full story, and it could be that he's not really stealing from the customers, and that's really the price it is in this area, and we have to really think the matter through before we just start tarnishing someone's reputation. Number 3, you have to first approach the wrongdoer and attempt to persuade him to rectify his ways. So first give the guy a chance. Maybe you'll go to the store owner and you'll say, listen, I see what's been going on. You're not handling your customers well, and I'm gonna have to tell my friends not to shop here if this continues. And see maybe if first you can handle the situation that way before you just go and spread things about this man. Then 4, if you do have to say things about the store, you do have to stop somebody, you cannot exaggerate. So I'm giving the example of a store, but let's just bring in a shidduch for a minute. Someone asks you about someone that is really not a good person, and you don't want them to go out with them because it's going to be very, very bad. Well, you can't exaggerate. You can't go on and on. If they get the point with you just saying, listen, he's known to have a temper, and you can stop there and they'll understand that there's no reason to keep going on and exaggerating. We are not allowed to exaggerate. Number 5, one's intention must be solely to help the person who's being victimized. If this store owner in my case also happens to be my competitor, well, I have a lot of vested interests right there. So it has to be that I'm really coming from a pure place. I really want to protect this person from getting cheated or robbed, or in the case of a shidduch, I really want them to not get involved with somebody who I know for a fact has, dangerous tendencies. So you have to be really coming from a place that you really have good intentions. You can't be nogea b'davar, as they say. So if this store owner also happens to be your enemy, perhaps somebody else, maybe you could ask someone else who it's not their enemy, maybe they could look into the matter more than you, because most likely you're gonna have a little bit of a skewed view. Number 6, it has to be that if you can get that same result without speaking Lashon Hara, which we kind of said before when we said you have to first approach the wrongdoer, but maybe there's other ways that you can get that result without speaking badly. So in the case of a shidduch, maybe if I have a student that says, should I date this guy? And I think, it's going to be really, I know he's a dangerous person, let's say. But maybe I can just avoid it by saying, you know what? You had a few names. Why don't you look into that one first? I think he's more well suited for you. If there's a way I can do it that I know I can keep her away from that guy without ruining and tarnishing his reputation, I have to first try that way. And number 7, one is not allowed to convey the information if the result will be suffering for this person even more than the law allows. So an example of the storekeeper, right? In the olden days, or back in the day, things were a little different. Rules were different. If somebody thought someone was stealing, they might, cut off their arm. When you were dealing in the Middle Ages, things were a little different. So too today, there could be situations where a person will get punished by society even more than the halacha says they should be punished for it. So if you speaking that Lashon Hara is going to create a mob to come and beat up this guy, and it's going to create horrible ramifications, that's a different story. You should think before saying it. So these are the 7 conditions of Toeles. If all 7 of these conditions are met and you still think and believe and know that this is information that must be relayed, then you have to do it in the best way possible without exaggeration, just giving the cold facts. Again, if you are nogea b'davar, if you are a little too connected to the story, perhaps you could have somebody else answer these questions about the person, or spread the information. Someone who might do it in a way that's more emestic, more straight and yashar, and the way that it's supposed to be conveyed. Thank you, and we will continue to talk about these topics and what to do when you hear information and everything like that. So have a great day, and I look forward to continue learning together.